Hello, and welcome once again to the Barbarian Breakdown. This time it's the final Barbarian Breakdown of this series, of this snippet, because we had the EGL Split finals. Unfortunately, I missed a week, which was the final week of the Open series itself. Massive Crimsix came out on top in week 8, so that's the little catch up there. There's some good games across there, but Massive Crimsix came out on top, as to be expected. But talking about the EGL finals, EGL Open Series Split 3 finals, we had a winners bracket and a losers bracket, as per usual with the finals. We had double elimination, and we had some interesting games across the 2 days. We did get quite a few teams. You get some help from TC and stuff with camos. I think the camos you could still just get from watching those, so you didn't necessarily need to play. I know how many people sort of worked that out and then didn't enter at all. But yeah, that was sort of the way it went down. We did end up with a decent number of teams. If I remember rightly, it was, I think, around 22 teams. Also, again, not a great turnout. We spoke across the week. We spoke about this across the weeks. Not really sure what's going on. We'll have to see. Again, with the future of Gears, I have the Barbarian League coming shortly, obviously, to try and give us something to do in between splits or whatnot, but we're just waiting on information. But to the finals themselves. Okay, Massive Crimsix made a wonderful, undefeatable run through the winners bracket, which was to be absolutely expected. Absolutely dominated the way through. Put me out in winners quarterfinals. Well, put me into the losers bracket and had a pretty strong run throughout the day. Tweak did well as well. That was Breaker and Co. They did really well as well. Phantom T made it all the way to the winners finals to be knocked into the losers bracket. There was a bit of drama around that with Johnny Walker and Cork. I think one member of Johnny Walker and Cork, not naming any names, Cougars, went to sleep or something. Was like too hungover. Like, you're playing for money the next day. That was just a bit weird. The rules are rules. They wouldn't let him play with a sub. I wouldn't wait any longer. I don't know the ins and outs, but Phantom T ended up taking the sort of win off then. And sending Johnny Walker and Co, which is, as I say, is Dragons, Cougars and Co, into the losers bracket. So that sums up the winners bracket coming through. Outsiders, they had a nice run. They met Phantom T in the quarterfinals. They were sent to the losers bracket. I'm just trying to mention some of the teams that we've come to know and see across the board. Moving on to the losers bracket and looking at the team who would join Massive Crimsix in the grand final. As previously mentioned, a lot of teams went into there, a lot of teams went down. Dreams come true. Lost to Tweak in losers round 3. Italian Wash, they put Deadass Bro, which is me, out in losers round 3 as well. Went on to play Tweak and lost 3-0 themselves, who then lost to Johnny Walker and Co. On the flip side of the bracket, Les Pepitis, I always say it wrong, I hope I'm not butchering it, played Outsiders. Outsiders managed to defeat them 3-1, only to be pipped to the post in the next round by Chid, Bertie, Zul and Nestiques under the name of 75Hz Monitor. They continued to push through, continued to do well, but they did eventually meet Sukapon, as we previously mentioned in earlier breakdowns. This was Marsh, Hydrone, Eddie, Ashens and Slaps, who had a really good run themselves coming through. They had a really good run themselves through, and through the loser bracket it went on really, really well. Managed to get into the money spot, which you'd expect nothing less from the likes of Marsh. But then, now let's talk about the top 4. So as we see, Massive Crimsix, they came through into the grand final via the winners bracket. Phantom T were waiting in the losers final due to losing against Massive Crimsix. Johnny Walker took a dent against Phantom T, as previously mentioned, with a bit of drama to go into the losers bracket, and Sukapon. So that was your top 4 teams. Really well played to all 4 of them. Some of the usual names that you'd expect, maybe some that you might not quite expect to be there, but they did quite well. Sukapon, they came in 4th, losing out to Johnny Walker and Cork in a 3-2 series, which was highly entertaining to see, and it was a brilliant watch indeed. So then, in the losers final, Johnny Walker and Cork got a crack back at Phantom T. No drama this time. It's Championship Sunday, no drama. Everyone's there. Everyone's present and accounted for. And Johnny Walker and Cork came out on top against Phantom T to book themselves a spot in the grand final. Phantom T finishing in 3rd, pretty much solidified themselves as a top 3 EU team across the months and splits now. Do look forward to see what they do in the future. Johnny Walker and Cork, I think it was a bit of a throw together. There's been a few changes across the weeks, but as I say, they made top 2 themselves. And a huge shout out to Sukapon, which is obviously Marsh and Cork. It was nice to see Marsh back and still taking a top 4 spot. On to the grand final itself. That came down, as previously mentioned, to Johnny Walker and Cork versus Massive Crimsus. And as you could expect, as you would expect to see. I don't know how else to sum it up. It was Massive Crimsus. They came out on top. They've had a dominant split. Haven't lost a single week. Won all 8 Open Series. And then came and dominated the finals. Right now, Massive Crimsus is just crazed. Crim, Pains and Bouncers look possibly the most dominant EU team we've ever had. In just sheer aggression and power in the way that they play. They don't look beatable. I don't really want to compare maybe to older Gears titles and whatnot, but I don't feel I've seen a roster as dominant as these guys. But the future of Gears EU is a bit in question at the moment. I don't think it's going anywhere. We're just waiting to find out more information. And then we can go from there. But as we say, a huge congratulations to Massive Crimsus coming through with a completely undefeated split and taking home the big cash prize. Huge shout out, as we say, to Phantom T. No roster changes played. Also, a huge shout out to Phantom T, who came through, managed to hold on to that top 3 spot, and have solidified themselves completely in the EU scene. Johnny Walker and Cork and Sukapon, I'd say congratulations to both of them on finishing top 3, top 4. They did well. They tried. Everyone's tried. Everyone's did the best. I just feel that Massive Crimsus, they're the ones to beat at the minute, and I can't see anyone beating out there. So once again, thank you for tuning in across the EGL Open Series Split 3 to the Barbarian Breakdown. The next episode will be about the Barbarian League qualifier. And then as soon as we have more information on what's going on, I hope to be back here once again, breaking down what is happening in Gears EU and the EGL Open Series for you. Until then, guys, keep it classy.